Okay, kicking things off here on a Thursday. Glad you are with us. Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Be easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hopping and ready to go. Just was doing a little chuckling during the pregame as we went live today, reading some articles, seeing some accounts, some chats, some text. I like to get my day started with a few chuckles. That's a good way to start the day.
It's not like it used to be. And sooner or later, we'll get to this point where I log in the morning and John logs in and he's over there working, getting ready and everything. And he'll say, and I'll look at him. We're checking. Hey, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? And everything. And then John gets to work and everything, writing stuff down, checking lines. Why did that not? And, all of a sudden, I'm doing the same thing. And all of a sudden, John will say, and I'll look at him through the screen and I'll say, Philip? And he'll say, yeah. It's not the same. We will deal with it ultimately and finally at some point. But there were a lot of articles written and probably a few chuckles from yesterday at Greystone, whatever, Golf and Country Club in Hoover, Alabama, for the Pro-Am for what has been and probably will always be known in my mind as the Brunos.
Correct.
Is Bruno still there? Is that a thing? I haven't seen a Bruno's.
Yeah, it is not. It went the way of some other grocery store chains. And but yeah, you're right, Barry. It was the Bruno's Memorial Classic. I can tell you who the first winner of that tournament was because I actually picked him to win it. I can't believe it still to this day, back in 92 or 3 when they had the first tournament.
Tom Kite?
George Archer, a Masters champion as well. George won a green jacket, but he was a tall guy. And I don't know why I picked him. It was like throwing a dart on a dartboard and it hit it. And I'll never forget picking that. But yeah, it's been around a long time.
Well,
and it's, I heard yesterday over $25 million have gone to the Children's Hospital there in Birmingham, which is, wow. I mean, a fabulous facility that so many people have utilized over the years. And it's a great event, brings a lot of people to the state.
It's a really good event. It's on the Champions Tour, which used to be called the Senior Tour. Yeah. And it's a beautiful course. It's a good time. I kind of like the Seniors Tour because, it's intense. They want to win. There's prize money involved. But there's some old duffers out there who are just, man, I can't believe I still get to play golf competitively and get paid for it. Let's have a good time. Hand me another Michelob Ultra.
And I think this one, Barry, is labeled as a major on the Champions Tour. So maybe they take it a little more seriously. It's a 4-day event compared to a 3-day, which is the norm on the Champions Tour. So I think Birmingham's, very, I don't want to say lucky, but in a good spot to hold one of the majors of the Champions Tour. And the field's pretty competitive and a lot of big names. And, of course, they had some big names at the Pro-Am yesterday. They didn't have us. I don't know. Gene Hallman's got my number. Gene, we'll come up there.
We've been up there.
Yeah, come on.
Well, I kind of think, I have a dream. U.S. Open, Oxmoor Valley, something like that.
Well, how do I put this?
Oh boy, I've said something wrong.
Yeah, I don't think that layout is conducive for, I don't think you call them patrons at the U.S. Open, but for fans. It's just, it would be difficult for the fans to get around Oxmoor Valley, just by the way it's set up. It is a really up and down, the topography, how about that word, would be difficult, I think, for the fans. Now, Ross Bridge, I've heard some people say that maybe that would be a venue, but I don't know if it is U.S. Open worthy. I've heard people say that about the Judge at Capitol Hill. But I don't think you could get fans around that course either. That's why they play so many tournaments on the Senator, because it's easier for people to get around.
And the when Roger Schultz and Big Sleeve flipped that golf cart that time, probably. And
you're coming down a pretty steep embankment there, and you got to make a sharp turn at the bottom.
For a lot of people, though,
was Big C or Schultz driving the cart?
I think it was Big C. I'm not sure how, but I think who knows? Maybe it was Schultz, because Schultz can reach the pedals. But it was, for a lot of people, yesterday is the only day that this event enters their consciousness. Maybe they're not golf fans. Maybe they don't like old people, something like that. But yesterday is the Pro-Am. And the Pro-Am is all that. I saw video one time of Stan White almost killing a patron with a tee shot because he didn't yank it. He sculled it and almost sculled the patron. Barkley, of course, Saban, even now. To me, and Stephen Pearl had a birdie on a par 3 on the front nine.
Man, he isn't out there playing with Freeze, is he?
Freeze ain't playing. Golesh was there. Auburn football coach Alex Golesh was there. He doesn't play, but he was out there signing autographs and doing interviews and schmoozing and all that. Kalen DeBoer.
Did you happen to see DeBoer's tee shot on one?
Whose?
Kalen DeBoer's.
I did not. Did you?
I did. He gets up there, waggles a little bit, about kind of like Al Chervik, on the first tee. And he hits it, makes pretty good contact, but he hooked it. I don't know, how far off the fairway he hooked it. And the announcer on the first tee, they have this, now on the tee, head coach, University of Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, blah, 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 say all that kind of stuff. And after he hit the shot, the announcer says, well, it's pretty obvious he's not playing a lot of golf during spring training.
Well,
and a kind of a little jab at a former coach that used to do a lot of that at another school.
Buddy Ty says it's nice to see a coach at Auburn who doesn't play golf.
That's a good point.
It's a fair point out there. But, you have all that. They're schmoozing around. They're showing video of, oh, here comes Saban onto the course. I'm like, 2 years retired now, working on his third.
Yeah.
Here's Saban on the practice tee. You
think DeBoer's thinking, you got to invite him? I mean, he walks Morgan Wallen out. Now he's over here. Everybody's falling all over him. Can I go to an event and he's not there?
DeBoer is an afterthought. And he is the head football coach of the, Alabama Crimson Tide. I don't get it. But anyway, they're all out there, and Greg Sankey is out there, and people are doing interviews, and there's tons of video, and they're signing things. Alex Golesh had a nice little video with a kid who's an Auburn fan, and asked him his name. I think his name is Shay or something like that. And he says, War Eagle, Shay. And Shay says, yes, sir. And he says, no, I got to hear it, Shay, before he signs his golf ball. And he says, War Eagle, and he signs his golf ball and goes on. All that stuff.
Shay.
Tuberville was there.
Playing with John Daly yesterday. How about that? How about that group?
Wouldn't mind being in that group out there.
I understand there they got, like it was around to number 14 at Greystone. They had like a little band playing. And when Daly's group rolled up there, he's playing with Riley Green, who I believe is a country artist.
Yes.
Tuberville, Daly. I forgot who the other guy was, but they stopped and played with them. So they sat there and played for a little while, as I guess they let groups go through them while they play. Daly's plays as well. He's a musician. I don't know how good he is, but I know he plays guitar. So that would have been pretty cool. I heard they had a pretty good gathering of people watching them or listening to them play as in between the 14th and 15th hole. That would have been pretty cool. I don't know if is Daly even playing in the tournament, or is he just in the Pro-Am part?
They got a band out there on the course. That ain't golf. You don't do that.
Yesterday wasn't golf. Yesterday's just a little funsy. Celebrities come out there, get you some autographs, some photos, stuff like that. Yeah, yesterday. I wonder if these pros enjoy it. because they do this on the regular tour as well. Not at every event, more like the, Greater Greensboro Open or the John Deere Classic or something like that. But they'll have a pro-am. And I got to think, man, do these pros really want to go out here and hack it around with a bunch of people they don't know? But they do it. Been doing it for a while. I think it's kind of easing them into the seriousness of the days that are coming. Maybe that's kind of like the par 3 contest at Augusta. Something lighthearted. Then we'll go full bore after that.
Maybe it's easing Tuberville into the tough days that are coming as well, because he's got a big challenge ahead. Not as big as the challenge he's currently in, but we'll see. And of course, interview with Kalen DeBoer. I love being here at Alabama and looking forward to many more great years. Which the operative word in that sentence is more.
Yeah.
You ain't had any yet. What do you know, I know what the fans are.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I will say this. I caught a few of them as well. Here are a couple of quick observations.
Okay.
And don't take this the wrong way, but to me, Greg Sankey looked and sounded like a defeated man. Tired is what I got out of it. He just didn't look his usual self yesterday when I saw a little bit of an interview with him. Kirby was typical Kirby. I love the story he told about Saban getting shots on the first tee. And he talked about, the guy shoots his age, shot 78 at Augusta. What do you mean this guy's getting shots? You got to press Saban on the shots. And then it turned into a spring game in 2010, which was the year I was the guest coach, and Feinbaum asked him about that halftime speech. And of course I perked up when he talked about that, because I've shared it many a time. The paint was peeling off the wall. And he did mention they had a lot of seniors on that team that maybe he had heard that speech a time or two. And then also, Saban was asked about DeBoer and his contract and, same old stuff. But Saban kind of went on you got to support us speech. Didn't really come out and say, hey, Bama fans, you got to get off your wallet. But I could read between the lines. I know what he was saying. You got to be supportive. Use the word supportive a lot. Supportive is another word for writing a check.
Yes. That ain't going there and clapping.
Yeah.
Come on, fellas.
Join Yay Alabama, like right now. So that's kind of what I got. I saw Tuberville, a couple of things he had to say. He's on this 5 years to play.
5, yeah.
5 and 5. Can't get me what? Can't play after your 25th birthday or something
like that. Well, yeah, that's the thing more than anything else is not the 5 years. It's the age limit, between 18 and 23, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
But couple of things about it. Number one, Greg Sankey and Kirby Smart. Sankey said yesterday that the decision, and boy, has John been pushing for a decision. Do something.
Give me something.
Somebody
Greg.
Do something. Yeah. Stop all this talk. Greg Sankey at Greystone yesterday says the decision around the college football playoff expansion for 2027 needs to be made by this December the 1st. It's interesting next year, the opportunity for the 1 seed. If you come into not this year's, but next year's playoff, the 1 seed would have the opportunity to pick the location of its quarterfinal bowl and the location of its semifinal bowl. And then the 2 seed would have a quarterfinal bowl and then, take whatever. There's a lot of things to work through. He says the decision needs to be made by December the 1st.
Barry, how about May the 1st?
I don't think it'll be made December 1st, much less May 1st.
Yeah. I don't get it. Well, there again, when we get in this basketball thing, I'd kind of heard some rumblings, but bam, they didn't mess around with that.
Also,
they ain't wait till May 1st for that one.
Also, Kirby is my guy. Kirby Smart yesterday, somebody was asking him about the state of college athletics, and he was mentioning that Arkansas, an SEC member, eliminated men's and women's tennis. He says, I think when you see other sports getting out, a lot of this, what a lot of college athletic directors are facing. Do I pay player X or do I kill the sports that are providing 15 to 16 opportunities for student athletes? It's concerning because I don't think that a college athletic director or president should be faced with cutting opportunities. He said, I hate it for them. And this is a head coach. Hate it for them, but I wish I could do more. He says, I love going to tennis matches at our place.
Wait a minute.
I love going to golf matches, softball, baseball, track and field. Those are just some of my favorite things to go and watch. I hate that these opportunities get limited more. It will not be a good thing. That is from a head coach of a big boy. You
want to read between the lines there, Barry?
The read between the lines is he's saying, we make millions and millions and millions of dollars in the SEC, and we can't fund men's and women's tennis?
Nah. What he's saying is quit draining the bottom line of the athletic department. We need more money for the goose that laid the golden egg. And Kirby, come on, man. You expect me to believe a guy that's recruiting his tail off, always on the road, is saying, hey, honey, let's go over to the tennis complex and see the men's double finals today. Come on, Kirby. I ain't buying that. Hey, let's go out to the university golf course and walk 18 holes with these guys.
It's interesting you make those two comments reading between the lines because, what he is saying is absolutely 100% opposite. He's saying we these events. We want these sports to continue. I am sorry that some of these have gotten discontinued at Arkansas. And he is saying, I like going to tennis. I like going to baseball. I was at Georgia baseball day before yesterday. Didn't see Kirby, just didn't. But I bet he's got practice going on and stuff.
He was at the Luke Bryan concert at Sanford Stadium over the
John
weekend.
Says, let me read between the lines. What he is saying is exactly opposite of the words that are coming out of his mouth on video and on audio. And
I get it. It makes him look good. Oh, we love tennis and golf. We go.
I love the college space. Yeah. I love going to tennis matches at our place, golf matches, softball, baseball, track, and
behind closed doors. Couldn't give a crap. So what? If they get rid of it, hate it for them. That's what he's saying behind closed doors. But in front of a camera, this was terrible. Can't believe they did it.
I get exactly the opposite. I get exactly what he said, what actually the words that came out of his mouth as his meaning.
Now, Barry,
John says, what do you expect him to say?
Yeah, I'm really trying to picture Kirby sitting on a metal bleacher at the Georgia tennis complex in the sun watching a doubles tennis match.
Now, he's up in Georgia tennis is all that. It's right by the baseball field, and I've been in there before. They got little, not suites, but little rooms up there. He maybe out there pressing the flesh out of the entrance for a little while, but I didn't see him at baseball. Softball, yeah. Why is that not plausible? I'll tell you why John thinks that's not plausible, because that ain't the way John thinks. And the way John thinks, if it's not the way everybody else is thinking, it's the way everybody else should be thinking.
Well,
it's that self-assured confidence in his rule of the world that really helps drive this program.
So I guess we can go to a break and come into the next segment because that's wrapped up in a nice little package. Yeah.
As we go to break, I want to see if I can beat Dennis Mitchell to this because he's probably on it. Big happy birthday shout out today. Ooh. 56 years old. 56. Our friend, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart.
Chris Stewart's birthday today.
He looks about 36.
Yeah.
26.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Love Chris.
Happy birthday, Chris Stewart. It's Longshore and McKnight. We are underway on our Thursday show. That means Rodney Orr, exclusively presented by the Destin Connection Seafood Market, and Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a fourth location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959, and have the best-looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw. Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest-ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com. All right, welcome back in. 21 minutes past the hour here on this Thursday. Hey, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. Instant notifications of everything happening with Longshore and McKnight. We're live every weekday morning, 7 to 9, but there's content throughout the day. You want to check it out. And, of course, we're part of Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. You can check us out on the Yellowhammer News Facebook page, our Facebook page, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, X, Instagram. We're all over the place. Just hit Longshore and McKnight in the search bar. You will find us. We appreciate it. I know a lot of people listen to us through their Bluetooth in their car, over their phones, through their phones. So, so many ways to check it out. We appreciate it. Tell all your family and friends. So we talked about the expanded basketball tournament a little bit yesterday.
76 teams, and it's going to happen.
Yeah. And it seems to be more of an expanded play-in to get you to the 64, the way I understand it.
That's a lot of it. That's not all of it, but yeah, it's mostly that.
Like 12 teams going at it.
Instead of the first 4, it'll be the first 12.
Yeah. Which, you know what I think about the first 4?
John doesn't think it's the real tournament, but it is.
But of course, one of the several things I thought of, they got to have more venues than just Dayton, Ohio.
Correct. Hey, and they will.
Montgomery, why not? You know,
it'll be someplace out west. They say, yeah. Probably Missoula, Montana,
Missoula,
Vegas, or something.
But what I'm hearing, Barry, is this going to be a tournament or a 12 teams from group of 5 schools, or is this going to be 12 teams from Power 4 schools?
What's your initial reaction? I mean, not your opinion, but your initial. What do you suspect that it will be comprised of?
Well, I don't want this to come across the wrong way.
Here we go.
But I just don't think the TV networks that are spending billions of dollars to carry this event are really interested in having Abilene Christian and Niagara playing in a play-in game. I think they want an SEC versus an ACC team, or Big 10 versus Big 12 going at it. Names that people recognize, names that will make the ratings go up. Look, Niagara, Abilene Christian, love you guys. Knock yourself out. But wait a minute. How can Kirby Smart say that and you believe it, and I say something and you don't believe it? Huh.
You say you love Niagara. You say Niagara with an N, not with a V, right? Niagara. Okay.
Yeah. Viagra takes too long to work. Anyway, Yeah, I'm going with I'm going with Niagara.
But
yeah,
I will, and I know it makes the bile rise in my throat and everything like that. But John is right. John's right. I think his initial reaction is correct. It drives me crazy. And for those people who are just joining us and have never seen this guy or me together,
how many people? Is that like 4 people?
Where have you been? Under a rock? But for those people who haven't seen us before, I am the play-by-play voice and an employee of a university that is a group of 5 school. And with a university chancellor who is very, very active in the postseason committees and all that kind of stuff. But people come at me and say, oh, you really ought to support a 12-team playoff because it gives the group of 5 adequate chance to get in. And it's true. There is some chance. There were 2, count them, 2 group of 5 teams in the college football playoff last year. Luganville, who does a lot of group of 5 games, told us yesterday, he said they shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
John says they shouldn't. People hated it. People, the superior, powerful kind of guys, they hated that. So don't come at me, number one, in order of priority with this. Oh, but Barry, if we had a 24-team football playoff, just think of all the opportunities for the group of 5. Bull hockey. Oh, Barry, if we had a 76-team college basketball playoff, the Sun Belt could get 2, 3, maybe 4 teams. That ain't what it is. What it is that the SEC may get 16 teams. That's what they're after. The Big Ten is going to get, they want everybody in. Big 12, come on down. ACC, let's go. Join the party. Atlantic 10 or Conference USA?
Forget it.
No, don't give me all of this because I ain't.
So I got a solution for that. And it probably started with the Power 4 going up to the group of 5 and rubbing their hair and go, come on, we're going to let you in. Y'all vote for this, and there's a spot for you. And, of course, they fell for it, passed it, and now they're pushing them away.
My co-host spent several years as sincere. I mean, butter would not melt in his mouth when he got on the microphone or got on and said, look, this is more inclusive. I know the wall on the border is exclusive. I'm inclusive. We want more. Everybody's welcome. And people bought it. As soon as we got to a 12-team playoff, John's like, Boise State? What? James Madison? What? Don't be buying all of this from people who said, oh, it provides more. It provides some. God bless them for some, because at the beginning with a 4-team playoff or back in the Bowl Alliance or whatever it was, the BCS, there was none. But somebody, do not come throw your arm around my shoulder and say, Barry, look, here's the deal. No, Barry ain't buying it.
Doesn't sound right, but sometimes you got to say things you don't believe to get what you want.
John was saying that yesterday about, what was it? Sometimes you got to tell a fib or two. About Rich Rodriguez. John was saying sometimes,
Read chapter 17 of Bigger Than Bama. It explains it all to you right there.
All right.
Now you got to read between the lines, but it was as clear as day to me. It's kind of like that guy in A Beautiful Mind where he could see stuff that other people couldn't see.
Yeah, the equations were like appearing in midair in front of his eyes.
I've got that gift. But, but it only deals with sports, not mathematical equations.
No.
I did use the line, I'm kind of known as a conservative right-winger, but when it comes to sports, I'm a liberal. Let them all in. Let them cross the border. Heck yeah, we want everybody to be in the postseason tournament.
Until it happened. What was it in the very end of Risky Business? What were you saying all that for? Was that just BS? He's asking the guy who played Booger in
Yeah.
He said, was that all BS? He says, yes, of course it was all BS. I can't believe you fell for it. Absolutely it was. That's all. John was like, well, yeah, it's up to you to decide whether what's the truth or not. I'm just talking.
So I think the group group of five, and I brought this up before. Luke and Bill's mentioned it. We've had other people kind of talk a little bit about it. I really believe, Barry, that for the betterment of the group of five, that they have their own tournament. They have their own college football playoff. To me, it gets more power, a group of five schools and conferences engaged. There's more interest toward the latter part of the regular season. They're fighting for positions. Heck, Troy, before they were D3 or D2 playing playoff games and winning national championships. To me, that's the future of the group of five. And I think that's the best route for them to take.
I think.
And get some network to televise it all.
I think that is the best impersonation of Greg Marmalard I've ever heard in my life. That's John telling Troy and South Alabama and who does Alabama play at the beginning of the no.
East Carolina.
That's him saying, don't be shy about helping yourself to some punch and cookies, shuttling them off to the side they can get to the real pledge candidates.
Doug Dish and Ahmad and all those other people over there. I'm not saying that. Come on. Wow, that's a little harsh.
He wants them over to the side so he ain't got to deal with them anymore. I'm looking at the playoff and I'm thinking, wait a minute, have I got to, they're putting a group of five in there. What do I know about the group of five? Northern Illinois. Is Central Florida in the group of five anymore? No. Okay, well, then forget them. What about, that's the whole thing. He just doesn't want to be bothered with them. So he's saying, look, here's what you should do. Get yourself a group of five playoff and don't be shy about helping yourself to punch and cookies.
I don't want them to be left out. I want them to have some postseason fun. And I think they're going to have more fun. It'll be more enjoyable, more schools and conferences engaged if a group of five has their own 12, 16, 24-team football playoff. I don't know if you want to break away from the NCAA tournament, but, if you want to have your own tournament and the television network's willing to pay you a lot of money to do it, I'm with you. I'd love to see Troy and South Alabama and other Sun Belt and MAC schools and whatever going at it for something that they really have got a legitimate shot of winning. I'm not sure they got a legitimate shot of winning against Power 4 schools consistently.
You ain't gonna watch that. Hey, I'd love to watch it. Unless
I disagree with you. I think I would. Now, if it's going, which they wouldn't, they're not going to put it head to head against Ohio State and Southern Cal.
No.
But if Troy's playing Western Michigan in a semifinal game and it's on a Monday night or a Tuesday night or whatever, I'm watching that. Heck yeah. Mainly because, man, this is big time here. You win, you move on, you lose. And you're going home. All right, let's take a bottom of the hour break. We're going to try to hook up with Jason Caldwell. He's scheduled at the bottom of the hour here from Auburn Undercover. Rodney Orr, the Tighter Insider, at the top of hour number 2, sponsored by the Destin Connection. We'll get that all going and hooked up as we proceed on a Thursday.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Call Dixie and it's done.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information. Hey, all right, here we go. Back at it here on a Thursday, Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And our man Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover, joins us as he does on Thursdays. Hey, Jason, hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining us.
I'm good, guys. How about y'all?
Doing really well. First of all, let's go chronologically from way back when. We haven't had a chance to talk with you about Auburn getting a 4-star running back, a big back, and what that means in terms of recruitment and the trajectory of how things are going.
Yeah, no, I think you look at it, and I think everybody's still trying to figure out, how this thing's going to work, especially when you have a new roster. So you have a spring to look at your roster, and now you're trying to balance, who do you want to keep, who do you think you can keep, how many guys do you sign because of that? Like, it's just a completely different world. Because used to, I've got 18 seniors, and we got 4 guys who might go to the NFL.
Right.
Well, now you go, look, we may lose 50 guys. You don't have any clue how it's going to work. I think they were strategic in how they took transfers, took a few older guys, and they took a bunch of guys that have 2 or 3 years left from the transfer portal too, to give you a little bit of that bridge in between, so you're not stuck with either old or new, old or young. So I think they've tried to do that. So I don't think it's going to be a huge class for them. But listen, I went back and did it again on Monday, and we've talked about it for years. You got to sign offensive linemen. You got to sign high school offensive linemen. You have to sign 4 or 5 of those guys a year, because in a perfect world, you might get 2 of them that work out. I don't care where you are. Georgia and Alabama and Ohio State have had more guys drafted than just about anybody on the offensive line. They've also signed more than anybody on the offensive line, because those guys are just going to miss. That's just the nature of the position. And if you don't sign but a couple of them every few years, you're going to be left in trouble. And that's where Auburn football has been. No coincidence. Auburn had 2 offensive linemen drafted this year for the first time since 2021.
Drafted at all. I mean,
not like an offensive lineman drafted at all, period, since 2021. And what have 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25 had in common? Losing seasons.
Yeah.
There's no secret sauce here. You've got to be good, and you got to give yourself guys that can compete on the offensive line, and you have to give yourself options. And so I think adding Jalen Moore was a big deal for them as they continue to just try to stockpile offensive linemen, knowing that 2/3 of those guys are probably not going to be good enough, but that's just the nature of the position.
Is it harder to get a good offensive lineman in the transfer portal compared to other positions?
I don't think so. I think it's what you're looking for. Look, Indiana they've had a bunch of them. They were pretty good. But I think you're looking for guys that move up, because experience is the most important thing you can have. Talent's important, but experience is just as important, or maybe more important on the offensive line, because you look at guys that are grinders and guys that have made up a bunch of offensive lines for years that have been really good. You got to be experienced, old, veteran, savvy, and then guys that have played together. That's the thing about this year for Auburn. You look at it and go, look, you got some older guys, but they've never played together, and how important that is for an offensive line to have guys that have played together years together. And so it's the balance, but it's a developmental position. You can be the most talented guy in the world, but if you don't ever play, and then they expect you to plug in as a junior or as a true freshman even, you're going to struggle. I mean, just look, we just saw it. Alabama had a first-round offensive tackle drafted but I'm not certain that guy was the best offensive lineman on his own team. Now he's the most talented, but I don't think he was the best one. But that's it. You look at it going, man, where do you draw the line on the offensive line, talent versus experience and production? And it's a hard one to because it moves the line. The line moves all the time.
You know, it's interesting. You're just talking about Caden Proctor, and I was on his case all fall. I saw just this morning that the Dolphins are going to move him to guard.
That's it.
Yeah,
so that's it. I mean, like, it's athleticism.
Yeah,
big athletic guy, but going like, man, is he a great tackle? I don't think so. But is he a big athletic guy? I mean, it reminds me of Greg Robinson. You know, Greg Robinson gets drafted.
Good comparison.
They should have just moved him inside the guard from the get-go and said, listen, he can be a pretty good tackle, but he can be an all-pro guard. What's more important?
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me a little bit of you know, like Auburn baseball right now, because Eric Gavar, they brought in a transfer shortstop, and he's been injured and had surgery, so he's out. And it was a situation of where Eric Gavar can play shortstop, absolutely. But you go, okay, he's a good shortstop, but he's a great third baseman. Would you rather be good at two spots, or would you rather be good at one spot and great at the other one? That's what I feel like sometimes on the offensive line going, okay, where are we better? Are we better with that guy because we need him at tackle, or are we better because, hey, he could be a dominant guy inside? And sometimes that gets lost too.
I reserve the right to come back to baseball in a moment because I like the analogy. But with a new coaching staff and with no post-spring transfer portal, A, are they having Big Cat Weekend? And B, what's the tone of it going to be?
Yeah, they are in a couple of weeks. I think 2 weeks from now. Christian Clemente had a story yesterday that they are going to have it. I think it'll be more like, a traditional Big Cat Weekend. Last year, they kind of had a semi Big Cat Weekend. Now it's one day. It used to be 2 or 3 days, and you could get people to come in and spend the night and do all those things. They're not doing that anymore. There's too many visits to be had. Official visits start for a lot of kids during that time too. So it's going to be a one-day event. But yeah, they'll have it. And I think it's just continuation of what they've done, which is get guys on campus, get them around each other in that setting, build relationships. That's it. And it's always been a very relaxed, no pressure environment to where you're going, listen, this is just about you being around Auburn. And I think that's the way it'll be again this year.
Jason, there's some talk about, yet again, expanding the college basketball tournament. 76 teams. Looks to be more of a play-in type situation than actually just adding teams there to start on that Thursday. A couple of days early, they'll get it going. Your thoughts about expansion, and is this just an expansion to get more power for teams in, or is this for everybody to have a chance?
I would hope it's for everybody, and look, it's all, we know what it is. It's, you can sell a few more games on TV and make a little bit more money out of it. That's what this is all about, because it's not going to help the NCAA tournament. I mean, we just saw it this year. Like, the bubble was really soft. It's not going to get better, I don't think. But I do hope. I doubt it's going to happen. But I hope when they do this, and I've already been saying this for years, nobody that wins their tournament and gets an automatic bid should play in the play-in game. 16 seed, 15 seed, I don't care who it is. Those teams deserve to be in the tournament. So every one of these games should be those 11, now to be 12 or whoever. Those last at-large teams, they should fill out the entirety of these play-in games, in my opinion. If you're going to keep expanded, then make the people that are getting in because you expanded have to earn their right to get in, is my opinion. And so I hope that's what happens. I hate it. I've hated it for years that 16 teams have to play a play-in game to see if they can actually play in the NCAA tournament. Let them play. So that's my thought again. Look, we're going to see. We know the college football playoff is going to expand. It's all going to happen. The only thing that comes with this, in my opinion, is if you don't make the 76 teams in the NCAA tournament, you're in the SEC or the Big 10 or the Big 12, you're going to be in trouble. If you don't make it in that field, we're fixing to see a lot more movement in coaches, in my opinion, because of this.
Let me expand this, because Barry and I talked a lot about this morning, and we've talked about it in previous weeks. Do you foresee a day, Jason, where the group of 5 just kind of goes and does their own thing in terms of a football playoff and a national championship? I don't know so much in basketball, but if they're going to add 12 teams and they're all Power 4, I could see maybe where the group of 5 might say, well, what about us? Do you ever see them doing their own thing, I guess is the question.
And I would actually love it because I think it would be a seller. I think a network would go, hey, we'll pay for that all day long. And I think you could sell playoff games and do the same thing as I think they're going to, hopefully they'll do in football and move campus. So you say, do it like you could do like FCS right now and go, look, 16 teams have 8 home games. That would be fantastic for those venues to let people see those games and have packed stadiums. I think it would be awesome to have that type of atmosphere. And I know a lot of people don't hold the same thoughts I do, but it would be really hard for me to play knowing that I had no chance at a championship at the end of the year. And that's how you have to feel. I don't care if you're Boise State. I don't care if you're as good as you are. In your heart of hearts, you know you're not beating Michigan. You're not winning a playoff. You might win one, but you're not winning enough to win a championship. I would want to have a chance to win a championship. That's just me.
Back to what we were talking about before, you made the mention. Auburn baseball's gotten hot. 4 straight series win, impressive over Oklahoma. You note that the pitching's been good, Marciano and Petrick and those guys. And I was talking with some Auburn people, and I said, what's the real – and I know Bingaman has been – he went crazy against Oklahoma. Has it been him? And they said, no, it's all – not just Eric Guevara, what he's been producing, but the leadership and all of that. He's been by far the main reason why this team is playing so well lately. Agree?
Yeah, he's been good. He's batting over 400 in SEC play, and so that's a good starting point right there. But
yeah,
he had, I think he's hit in 19 out of 20 games, and the one he didn't hit in was the Saturday loss last weekend, Oklahoma. And he hit 2 balls like 108 and 111 miles an hour that got caught. And so you're like, and that he's hitting the ball hard, but it's depth of lineup. We've talked about this team for a while. That was where I always thought the strength was, and it just hadn't shown up. But they started to hit home runs, and it's really hard to score a bunch of runs when you're hitting a bunch of singles. It's just hard. Somebody might walk you a bunch and you might score some runs, but getting a bunch of 2-out singles is not the way to win baseball games. You got to have a 3-run home run every once in a while if you want to do that. And they've had more of those lately. So I think it's just been depth of lineup. Yeah, Ethan Bingman had 3 last weekend, but Guevara, Chase Fralick had a home run in all 3 games. Bub Terrell, they're getting production up and down the order. And listen, Chris Rembert's a guy that he's still – 320 or so for the season. He only has 3 home runs. He hit 10 last year. You think somewhere along the line that's probably coming for a guy like that too.
Right.
And if it does, he's due to have one of those weekends where you look up and he's got 3 or 4 home runs and he's 8 for 17. They haven't had that out of him yet. And so, will it come? Is that there? We'll see. But you continue to pitch it consistently. You give yourself a chance to win, and that's what they've done most of the year.
Jason, it looks like the Saudis have had enough of the Live Tour. What's going to happen to those players?
I think there's going to be a lot of begging going on, would be my guess. And guys like Brooks Koepka had made enough money to go, hey, I'll pay my way back in. There'll be a lot of these guys that haven't, that probably didn't make as much as that, but listen, we knew it's just not base. It's basic economics. I don't care how much money you have. If you keep giving it away and you don't make any in return, sooner or later you're going to stop. And that's what we saw. You just can't give $1 billion away and go, well, let's let 48 people show up and watch a little bit on the CW network or wherever they were. It's just not
kind
a
of
good
sounds
business
like Arkansas tennis to me. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, listen, we're going to see that. Hey, they're not going to be the last one.
Yeah, oh no,
it's going to happen to more because of that very thing. Because people are going to say, look, we're having to spend so much money on this side, and we're losing money on this side. When it gets to be a business, unfortunately, it becomes a business for everyone. It's not a business for just any. And I think we're seeing that in college sports too.
Well, one more golf thought from you. There is an entity out there called Data Golf. They don't vote for the best players. They don't have a round table and they all try to convince each other who the best players. Data Golf takes actual data points, and they say Jackson Coyven is the best amateur golfer that they've rated since they started doing this back in 2010. Three-time SEC men's golf champion. That's only happened once before ever. Is he the best? Is he in the conversation for best college golfer ever?
He's right there. When you think about it, Phil Mickelson is. I mean, there's a handful of guys when you start thinking about it. You go back to Ben Crenshaw. It's probably one of the ones that stands out in terms of college golf. Tiger, in his couple of years, was really good, of course.
Yeah. Shout out to Scott Verplank at Oklahoma State.
Wow,
Look
Scott
him up.
Yeah,
Man.
Scott Verplank was good. If you think about Curtis Strange and some of those guys that came through Wake Forest at one time. But Texas they've had their share. Ben Crenshaw was probably the one. But you start thinking about what you've done, and listen, if he goes and wins another NCAA individual title, I think you can put it to rest. But Phil Mickelson is probably the one now. He won a PGA Tour event as a college golfer when he was at Arizona State, and so. But you look at the competition now, just like the PGA Tour. There's never been more really good golfers in college golf than there is right now.
Okay.
And we just saw it like Jackson is as good as it gets, and he lost in a match play, in the SEC championship because there's a lot of other good golfers. That's also the nature of match play too. I tried to, explain to people who are kind of casual golf fans, and they go, well, how could they lose? And you go, well, listen, Tiger Woods was the most dominant golfer of my lifetime. Jack Nicklaus was probably the most consistent and best. Tiger was most dominant, and he's 4-4-2 in singles match play in the Ryder Cup. 500 golfer.
Yeah, you're right. It's hard to explain. You got to play the game, know it.
Well,
I love match play, Jason, because I can make a double on a hole, and then the next hole I'm birdieing and winning it, and my opponent's going, "What the heck just happened?"
The key. That's the key. You could shoot 80, and your opponent can shoot 70, and you can beat them in match play.
Exactly.
It's just a different world.
Yeah. I love you. Hit one OB. The guy knows he's won the hole. Then you get it back on the next hole. He's thinking, wait a minute. What just happened?
Yeah. He just made a 17 on the last hole and we're tied. How'd that happen?
Love it. Oh, let's love it. Great memories of match play that I participated in. All right, Jason, before we let you go, let all of our viewers and listeners know how they can follow you at Auburn Undercover. So much content, so much going on. Where do they find you?
Yep, you can check us out. Like I said, auburnundercover.com. Part 24/7 network, and a lot's going on. Nathan has stories, and he'll have some more from Alex Golich today, but had some thoughts from Stephen Pearl as well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, baseball heading to Texas A&M this weekend for the first of 3 top 10 matchups to finish the year for them, and then you're out of conferences, UAB and Jacksonville State. So they're going to be guaranteed that they cannot have a quad 3 or quad 4 loss this season. They can't have it because they don't play anybody else as those. So that's a pretty good starting point when you start to talk about your NCAA tournament thoughts. But got that going on. Women's tennis is the number 2 national seed. They play at home this weekend as well. So we'll have some thoughts on that. So got a whole lot going on. So check us out.
There you go. AuburnUndercover.com. At the scroll at the bottom, ITAT Jason Caldwell. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. We'll talk next week. Great stuff. Jason Caldwell, Auburn Undercover. Love a match play, Barry. Love it. You don't
because
love match play.
I didn't really think about that. I've never played match play golf, but yeah, you can 17 on one hole.
So what? You're
next
one
hole.
down.
Hey, we're even going to the third. You're like,
yeah. I mean, a guy hit 2 in the water, 1 out of bounds, and I'm only 1 up on him. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Well, what's happening here? I love it.
Well, we know what's happening here. Rodney Orr, Tighter Insider, in just a couple of minutes. We're going to get him, see what he's got to say about things in the next hour. Phantom's Daily Dog?
I think so.
Okay, that's coming up. No real hint to that.
Before we go to a break, Barry, I got to tell you, I was doing a little just, dreaming, if you will, is Jason was talking about his idea for the Group of 5 postseason. And I'm thinking about a not cold, but a chilly December evening in Troy, Alabama, as the Trojans are hosting some Mountain West school or I don't know, MAC school. It doesn't matter. In a second or third round playoff game on campus, on national TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, wow, now that's something that I would be interested in. Maybe as a Phantom Daily Dog play, but probably even more to watch it and see how it plays out. I'm thinking, I can see that. I can buy into that. I'm a lot more likely to watch that game, Barry, than the Tuesday night UL Monroe versus
he can't even think of any Group of 5 schools because he doesn't pay attention. Here's the thing, and I can't speak. I cannot use Troy as an example because people think I'm official and I'm actually the target. But if I'm Louisiana Monroe, whose athletic director is the kid who played on Blindside.
Wait, he's the athletic director?
Yeah, he's the athletic director at ULM now, S.J. Toohey.
Okay.
He's looking at it, and he's saying, I keep hearing this Longshore guy on Longshore and McKnight back in Alabama talking about college sports as big business. ULM has the season of a lifetime, and they're asking him, would you rather go to the college football 16-team or 24-team playoff and get your brains beat in by Texas A&M for $5 million, or would you rather go all the way to the championship game of the Group of 5 for $1.75 million?
Well,
what do you think he would say if he religiously watches and listens to Longshore and McKnight from his small, cramped office at ULM?
I don't know if those figures are accurate, but I see where you're going with that. I mean, obviously there's more money to be made in your version than there would be in mine, but I do think there again, the further you progress, the more money is available. And Barry, I've always been a big proponent, a watchdog for the fans. What are the fans?
He is the voice of the fans. If you ever want to know what the fans are thinking, and I'm embedded in the athletic department and with the student athletes. You ever want to know what the fans think? This is your boy right here.
So, I think the fans don't really want to be embarrassed and get their brains beat out and let the athletic department bring home a $5 million check. I think the fans want to host a playoff game at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Troy on a Wednesday night or whenever it is for the chance to move up into a further round and make more money, more exposure, and a chance to win a national title. To me, the buzz of something like that would be huge for, and there again, I'll say South Alabama, whomever,
right,
or UL Monroe. To me, that would be huge. It would bring a completely different element.
Okay.
To that fan base, to that campus. I think it's this, we're in the playoff, but we ain't winning it. And I'm like, Jason, I'm in it to win it all.
If Longshore, if I can put my mind in Longshore's frame of mind, here it comes. You've got a vendor that has been providing video services for your athletic department, and they say, hey, SJ Tui, man, you owe us $750,000 and it ain't been paid in a year. And SJ says, hey, I can pay you in Buzz. Well, do you take Buzz? Because Buzz is what we've generated here. I'm just saying, if you can buy and sell with Buzz, I'm all for it. Putting myself in Longshore's mind.
Barry, I think Buzz creates an opportunity to make money. You got to have buzz. It's all about advertising. If you don't advertise your product, you're not going to have people walking in and out of the doors. We can help you with that.
Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com.
Yeah, we'll help you out with that. Let's take a break. Rodney Orr scheduled to join us here in a couple of minutes.
It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry is Central Alabama's best-known jewelry store. Their location at 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree is conveniently located adjacent to Chappie's Deli. At Marguerite's, they have every jewelry item imaginable because they make it. They really make it. From rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and much, much more. Marguerite's can also repair, clean, and rework any jewelry item that you want to bring back to life. Whether you're on a budget or have no budget at all, Marguerite's has all types of jewelry for everyone. Go by and see them today or call 270-0074. The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. Many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272. All right, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us. Rodney Orr scheduled to join us here momentarily. Hey, Tighter Insider subscribers, no need to drive all the way down to Mobile to pick up live crawfish. Order yours today at the Destin Connection Seafood Market right here in Montgomery. Just give them a call, 288-4272. That's 288-4272, area code 334. The price is down to $3.50 per pound. How about that?
Whoa.
They also have all sizes of fresh shrimp to go in your boil at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Man, the price is down to $3.50 per pound. We're going to send some up there to Rodney in Tuscaloosa, who joins us right now. Hey, Rodney, good morning. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing today?
We're doing really, really well. Hope things are well there. First of all, let's just go the entire NFL draft for Alabama. Now that everything is over with, they end up having 10 players drafted. Only Ohio State had more, and they had 11. This is a talented program, Rodney, right?
I guess if you read Tighter Insiders, it wasn't. Talent was the problem. They didn't have any talent. But I agree with you, Barry. The proof's kind of in the pudding, right? They had 10 guys drafted. Now, listen, it's not the top-heavy draft that we would see under Saban, where they had 4 or 5 first-round picks and a few others scattered throughout the draft. It was pretty balanced. You look at it, they had 2 in the first round. They had Jeremy Bernard in the second round. They had several in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round, spread out there. So it was a pretty well balanced draft from top to bottom for Alabama. But having 10 players, Indiana only had 8.
Fair point.
That's a good point there. Yeah, you wonder, are they putting the players in the right positions? Are they coaching them to the best of their ability? I mentioned earlier, saw where the GM of the Dolphins says they're moving Caden Proctor to guard.
Makes sense. That's what. Listen, here's the thing, and I think this happens. Some when you're recruiting a guy who used to be, and when Saban recruited him, Caden Proctor was committed to Iowa. Caden Proctor was convinced he was a left tackle, and they told him he could play left tackle. And he probably was the best left tackle they had, actually. So it made sense to play him there. But I think, John and Barry, most people understood that Caden Proctor's best position was probably on the inside.
Yeah, looks like the Dolphins just figured that one out.
Let me ask you your perceptions of this, because it's a very, very good thing. Just I want to get you to inside of it a little bit. Alabama football gets a commitment from the third straight year they've gotten a 5-star quarterback commitment. They signed Keelan Russell. They signed Jet Tamala. They're about to sign Elijah Haven, which is a big deal. Tom Luganbill says this guy is a transcendent talent, big, strong, whole deal. But I'm wondering, there's got to be an easier path to a starting job than going to a school that already has 2 5-stars in there, in the mix, in the quarterback room right now. Why do you think he did it, Rodney?
Well, I think, John and Barry, look, you guys know that the portal's going to impact this quarterback room that they have right now. I'm not sure how many are going to be left standing after this year. Like you said, I mean, they have Austin Mack, Keelan Russell. You would think that the guy who doesn't win that position will be gone next year. So that's one. And then you've got young players, Jet Tamala, Taden Kawa, both very talented players. So it's kind of a room that I think you're going to have an opportunity, if you're a Elijah Haven, to come in and compete. Maybe he wouldn't his first year, because let's just say hypothetically that Keelan Russell's the quarterback. So Keelan would be going into his second year, and if he's as good as everybody thinks, then maybe he's a guy that departs early for the NFL. So it would certainly give Haven an opportunity in his second year to be the guy. And it's not bad to sit and develop a little bit and learn, rather than be thrown in there as a true freshman. So I think that's probably his thinking. I would guess that, he's going to have an opportunity to compete and play really early. So that's it. And, guys, I tell you, Alabama has 2 guys committed in the 2027 Classic quarterback, Trent Seaborn. We forget about him. Right. But he's a really good player in his own right. And he's a 4-star rated player. But I think Alabama's going to get another quarterback, but I don't think it's going to be in this class. I think they're already moving forward to 2028. And so I would watch out for a kid, Charles Scott, out of Richmond, Virginia. He's like a Rohan Davey. He's 6'5", he's 255.
Wow.
Keep an eye. Stay alert on that one.
Very nice.
Read between the lines, Barry.
That's why we like Rodney as much as we do.
Yeah, my Rodney radar went up there. Ding, ding, ding. All right. What I think's interesting, Rodney, I just love to know, if you have a little insight you could share with us, how they recruit these guys. I mean, is it more like, okay, look at Ty Simpson. He went through the system, waited his time, and look out. First round draft pick, number 13 to the LA Rams. That could be you. Is that how they're kind of selling this to all of these quarterbacks?
Now, when you ask that question, are you asking if that they may have to wait their chance to play like Ty did?
Yeah.
I don't really know that because these kids nowadays, they don't want to buy into that.
Yeah, I get it.
Ty did. And I think Ty, part of that was, first of all, Ty's dad being a college coach. I mean, he had great direction from his father. Okay. So he had an understanding of how it kind of works.
Right.
Now, Mac Jones had just completed his career at Alabama when Ty committed. And Ty kind of saw what Mac did. And actually, when Ty committed to Alabama, he said, if my career goes like Mac Jones's and I only play 1 year and I'm a first round draft pick, I'll be happy. Well, it played out that way.
Yeah.
So, John, to your question, I don't really know that. I think the guys they're recruiting, the confidence level of those players, and you want your quarterbacks to be really confident, actually, as you know.
Yeah.
And I think that when you get a really good quarterback, he thinks he's the guy, regardless of what anybody around him might be able to do.
Well, I will say this, Rodney. I was extremely confident at Jeff Davis, but I never saw the field.
Yeah, he sat and he learned and everything. And what did it get him?
I was extremely confident. Whew, I didn't have a problem with that.
Also, this is interesting because Nick Kelly and TiderInsider.com pointed this out. Nick Kelly points out that Ty Simpson becomes the 6th consecutive primary starting quarterback for Alabama to be drafted in the top 3 rounds of the NFL draft. Jalen went second, Tua went first round, Mac Jones went first round, Bryce Young went first overall, Milroe went in the 3rd round, Ty Simpson in the 1st round. That's a draw for sure. We talked with you Thursday morning before Simpson.
Well, Barry, how about this real quick? How about the dry spot between Richard Todd and Brody Croyle? Woo!
Yeah, that was a dry spot.
Simpson to the Rams, 13 overall. There's very few people that we have heard from, Rodney, that are wishy-washy about this. Either they love the pick of Simpson going number 13 to the Rams, or they absolutely can't understand it. Where do you fall in that range?
Quite honestly, right in the middle. I can see both sides of it. I think Ty has all the tools. I've said it how many times on your show here. I think Ty has all the tools. I think he's a talented kid. There's a lot that goes into being a successful quarterback. And, it can, does Ty, can he handle the ups and downs? And that's, I'm sure as he continues to mature, he'll get better at that. But that's always been my concern about Ty, is just how he manages the ups and downs. And I think I know he was injured some last year. I'm not taking anything away from him. Like I said, I'm a big Ty Simpson guy. Mm-hmm. I believe Ty Simpson has the ability and the tools, but it's just the ups and downs that he kind of, allows to impact him at times. So I think that's one thing that he needs to continue to develop his confidence in there in the NFL. And you know how it is there, man. I mean, that's a tough league, but I do think that Ty has all the tools.
Hey, Tider Insider subscribers, no need to drive all the way down to Mobile to pick up your live crawfish. Order yours today from the Destin Connection right here in Montgomery by calling 288-4272. That's 288-4272, area code 334. The price is down $3.50 per pound. They also have all sizes of fresh shrimp to go into your boil. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, the absolute freshest seafood arriving daily. Check it out, 3750 Norman Bridge Road here in Montgomery. Rodney, I wanted to take some time to go back and talk about a project that I know is near and dear to your heart. And I took Barry's advice because I heard him say it a week or so ago. And I went back myself and reread Bigger Than Bama. And as I did it again, I mean, there's so many parts of that book that hit me. Obviously, how you started Tider Insider and all of the ups and downs with that. Obviously, there's a lot of parts of the book about your personal life and the hardships that you've gone through there that a lot of people might not know about. And I just can't recommend enough for people to read and purchase that book because it is a really, really good read. I'm glad I went back and reread it again. Couple of things that I guess some brighter parts of it. Your first meeting with Joe Namath. Awesome. Great story.
Yeah. Well, first of all, John, I appreciate you rereading it. And secondly, plugging it. But Yes, Joe Namath. That was 1982. That was I had transferred to Bama from a junior college in Texas, Corpus Christi. And so Joe Namath was, of course, growing up, I like, probably you, John. I don't know about Barry, but he was one of my idols. Certainly one of my
still is today.
Yeah, certainly one of my first idols, as a kid growing up. Well, I watched that Super Bowl III.
Yeah.
But anyway, had a walk-on player that had just transferred to Alabama. He was from New York City, named Billy Getchell. Billy ended up playing wide receiver, actually caught a pass in the Tennessee game in '84, but this is '82. He was playing in the secondary, defensive back, and he was close friends. Joe Namath, actually, he worked at Joe Namath's camp up in Connecticut, and Joe helped him walk on at Alabama. But anyway, long story short, Billy invited me to join him for Thanksgiving before the Auburn game to go out with Joe Namath, and I didn't believe it. I honestly, until we walked into the hotel room and the lobby, and the clerk said, "Oh, you're here to see Joe." I didn't believe it, but it was incredible. Let me just tell you this: the guy was like down to earth, totally.
Yeah. Great story, Rodney. Another part of the book, chapter 17, about how Nick Saban arrived in Tuscaloosa. Now, we've talked about this before, but I feel like I'm pretty good at reading between the lines, and I talked to several other people, and I know we've talked about this before, about how that all happened with Saban. But as I reread that, Rodney, I'm even more convinced about it. I've talked with you about it. I talked to the late, great Cecil Hurd about it. Mal Moore was in a difficult spot, a extremely difficult spot. I mean, he had hired Dubose and Price and Shula, and all that blew up in his face, and he knew he didn't have an opportunity to make a mistake again. I'm convinced that Nick Saban was the guy. And in your book, you talk about somebody from Jimmy Sexton's office calling you and tipping you off and recommending that you put some of this on TI to kind of get the buzz going. As I read that, though, and there again, we've talked about it. This is not in the book, but I'm a believer. You're not the only one that got that phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Mal Moore got that phone call and said, "Mal, don't do it. Saban is the guy. You can string Rich Rod along as long as you want, but there's going to come a time you got to tell him he ain't getting the job," to maybe kind of, just calm down the fan base. Oh, we're doing something. Don't you worry. We got the wheels are in motion. But all along, Nick Saban was the target.
In that phone call, and I didn't put this part in the book, but when I got that phone call, the guy in Sexton's office, who is very, very high up in that organization, he said, "Do you understand that Alabama's about to make the biggest mistake in college football history?" Now, I put that in the book. Yeah, I did put that in the book. Now, what I didn't put in there was he said that Nick, this is what I'm using his words, Nick doesn't care if he's looks like he's the second choice. He said Mal needs to understand that if something goes awry with Rodriguez, that Nick still wants the job, and that he doesn't care if he looks like the second choice. And this was on, I'll tell you when this was, to give a little context. It was on Thursday, December the 7th, 2006. So it was the day before Rodriguez was supposed to tell his team at West Virginia he was leaving for Alabama. Okay. So the next morning, on Friday, ESPN, AL, now I'm not knocking anybody for reporting this, AL.com, all of them already came out with their articles. Rodriguez to announce he's coming to Alabama, to tell his team today, yada, 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 all this stuff. By 10 o'clock that morning, I got a phone call from the source in Sexton's office again. And he said, "Hey, I got great news." He said, "Rodriguez is staying at West Virginia." And he encouraged me very strongly to go on my board and post that. And I said, "No, wait a minute. ESPN's reporting he's coming to Alabama. AL.com, all these sources are reporting this, right? Tuscaloosa News." And he said, well, if you do what I tell you to do, I think you're going to feel really good about it. You'll look good. So I said, okay, well, I'll do it. So I posted it, and I got a lot of people that came back. They were upset that how that reaction is.
Oh,
but within 30 minutes or 45 minutes, John and Barry, ESPN reported that sources in Morgantown were telling them that it looked good that Rodriguez would stay at West Virginia.
I remember that. We remember that part of it. We're like, well, I was like, hang on, wait a minute. And John was like, I'm just, John's like, just let this play out.
Can I give you some speculation?
Oh,
yes,
this
please.
is the home of speculation. This is the epicenter of speculation.
This is just something I've wondered. I have no idea if it's valid or not. But, I do think Rodriguez was in there really strong. I've often wondered the fact that Nick Saban and Joe Manchin, who was the governor of West Virginia, were
Senator,
really,
I think, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Senator, okay. That they were really tight. They were really tight.
Oh, yeah.
They were very close. And I often wondered if Joe Manchin got involved and convinced Rodriguez to stay at West Virginia to open the door for Saban. I mean, it's just something I've wondered.
That makes sense.
Rodney,
I never thought of it.
That, how quickly it happened that he's about to tell his team he's leaving, and in less than 12 hours, he's telling them he's staying.
Right.
So who got into Rich Rodriguez's ear and said, you're not getting the Bama job?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that's something we might not ever know, but
one of the theories that I had heard years ago is that Rich Rod wanted more money. Mal said he'd have to go back to the board, which he never did, never addressed the board of trustees about the issue, and just went back and told Rodriguez, this is it. They're not giving you any more money.
Might have been. I mean, John, like I said, that part I did not, I'm not real privy to.
Yeah.
But it is interesting how it changed the way it turned. And, I will tell you this too. Couple of things here. You know how you hear rumors throughout a process like this. And I heard of a coach at an ACC school at that time believe it or not, I heard this. I was told this. He had been contacted by Saban. Okay, this is when Saban was making all the denials.
Yeah.
But he had been contacted by Saban about joining his staff at Alabama. So, believe it or not, Gary Harris, who's a co-host of Tighter Insider TV with me, I asked Gary if he knew this coach because this coach used to coach at an area school. Gary knew him personally. Gary had his home phone number where he was at that time. He called him. His wife had the coach call Gary back on his cell phone and was stunned when Gary said, hey, because they had a good relationship.
Yeah.
Said, I hear Coach Saban has reached out to you about joining his staff at Alabama. And he's like, where in the world could you have heard that?
Yeah.
How did you know that? He confirmed in that conversation that Saban had reached out to him and that barring a collapse, Saban was headed to Alabama.
Oh my gosh.
And that's
that
in the book. That's in the book.
Okay. Well,
I believe I remember reading that.
But so these are little things during a process like that kind of just lead you along to, okay, this thing is coming to fruition.
Yeah.
And, there were other things as well. I mean, I know it makes for a great conversation. You guys are running out of time, but
we'll certainly do an expanded version in the summer. But that's just another example, folks, of how good of a book this is, whether you're an Alabama fan or not. I mean, just the football aspects of it, the personal aspects of it. I'm glad I reread it. It's great. And I can't recommend it enough for people to get a copy and read it.
I'm looking for my copy. It's back there somewhere in my library. And I've reread it too. One quick thing I wanted to ask you about this, because this was actually, Rodney, in an exchange at the open forum at TighterInsider.com, where they pointed out yesterday Nick Saban at the Regions Pro-Am. He was pointing out that, how difficult it is in this day and age of college football. I think they were asking him about DeBoer's contract. And Saban said, in effect, tradition doesn't matter as much as it used to anymore in college football. And you had an exchange in there saying, well, the expectations don't need to change. Can you talk a little bit about that exchange on the open forum?
Well, I mean, I think that Alabama does. I think if you ask Nick Saban, he would say there's still a standard. There's still a standard of performance. And that was my only thing was, okay, some people are saying they're lowering expectations, and it's almost like an excuse. And, there's really no reason for excuses. I mean, Cignetti went to Indiana, and look what he's done in 2 years. And people say, well, Mark Cuban, they took a bunch of transfers from James Madison.
Yep.
And the Fernando Mendoza was not considered the number one pick. Matter of fact, he was probably considered an average draft pick when he was at California, if that. Okay. So
Agreed,
it's not like they went out and bought a bunch of superstars. So my only point was, and I'm not knocking anything, I'm just saying that to play consistent, sound, disciplined football, to not get manhandled at the line of scrimmage, those things shouldn't change. And if they do, and if we're going to make excuses about it, then we might as well just say, okay, we're satisfied with mediocrity. And I'm not, again, 11-4 is not mediocrity. That wasn't my point. My point is that people seem to be making excuses for not playing up to a standard.
Yep.
And that at least is a downward slope towards mediocrity.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I certainly would say that. Now, look, I think this team, I think DeBoer, he obviously made improvement. It's a big year. It's going to be an interesting year to see what they do this year. And you know what? I think they have the potential to shock people. And I say shock. There's a lot of people picking them 15, 16, 17 in the country. This Alabama team, if things come together, they could be really good. Now, if they don't, you could see them losing 4 or 5 games.
Man, it's gonna be fun, and we love having you being a part of what we do here. Love reminiscing, love talking about the book, love talking about Crimson Tide athletics. It's all on the Tider Insider. Rodney, let our viewers and listeners know how they can become a member of TI and follow you and get all the latest scoop.
Right, it's TiderInsider.com. It's only $48 a year, and you can get instant access with your credit card, or if you prefer, there is an address there to send a check. Like you said, it gives you all the information. It gives you the all sports forum where it can be really rough and it can be extremely entertaining, but it's really nonstop for sure there at TiderInsider.com. And the book, if you want to look it up, it's at Amazon, Bigger Than Bama, or RodneyOrr.com. And I appreciate you again mentioning it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Yep. Rodney Orr, Tider Insider. Appreciate having him on Longshore and McKnight.
Yep.
Mark.
Yeah, great stuff.
28 minutes?
Woo, love it.
Jeez, that went by in a flash. Yeah.
Tider Insider subscribers, no need to drive all the way down to Mobile to pick up your live crawfish because they're right here in Montgomery at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Call ahead. Your order's ready for pickup. They'll get them to you. 288-4272. That's 288-4272, area code 334. The price is down $3.50 per pound. How about that? They also have all sizes of fresh shrimp to go into your seafood boil. Get it now at the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Great stuff there, Barry. I think you said something. Oh, Daily Dog. Yeah, I guess we'll get to that when we come back.
Coming up, Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Declaration of Deal sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokee's over 11 grand offers 0% for 5 years. Encompasses $5 grand off. Only at Stivers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The Declaration of Deal sales event is on at Stivers. New Ram, 16 grand off for 0% financing. And heavy duties, 13 grand off with Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitcher's duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Grab some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Call Dixie and it's done.
All right, here we are back at it on this for a Thursday. I'm a day ahead of myself here.
I was scrambling around a little bit during the break and during Rodney's thing. Just off screen here, I've got hundreds of books, and I finally, this is my copy.
Yep.
And we do testimonials here. Rodney Orr, Bigger Than Bama. I've read it. I read it when it first came out. The first time Rodney mentioned it, I went on Amazon.com and I bought it. And I have read it again, just like John. Check that out. Even I'm no Bama fan, you know that, but I'm a big Rodney fan, and his story. If you want to hear stories about what happened at Alabama, this is a great spot for that. John has related a couple of them, but if you want to hear about, Rodney's story and his faith and overcoming adversity and all that kind of stuff, it's really good. Check it out. Again, Bigger Than Bama, and that's Rodney right there.
Barry, and I didn't really want to get into it with him on the air, but you've read it, I've read it, a lot of thousands of other people have as well. But to put what he's put together with Tighter Insider and, being on the phone and reporting and covering and then dealing with what he was dealing with at home. I'm sitting there reading it going, man, how did you do that? How in the world with his late wife, his children? It was difficult. And I've talked to Rodney off behind the scenes, one-on-one, about that and some other things. And it's amazing. It really is. And he details it in the book.
Yeah.
He's not sugarcoating it.
And it's really well done. It was co-written with help from Ray Mellick, who I've always liked. Now, one quick thing before we get to the Daily Dog, because we were talking with Rodney about the upcoming year for Alabama, and he thinks they have the talent to really shock some people, and I don't disagree. And we talked a little bit about the draft and Ty Simpson going number 13. It was not a quarterback-heavy draft. Well, there's a guy named Nate Tice. He is the draft expert, NFL draft expert for Yahoo Sports. And I'm a big Yahoo Sports guy. And he has his list, the Nate Tice Yahoo Sports list, way too early, top 25 NFL draft prospects for 2027.
Okay.
Number 1, Arch Manning. He says there's been a lot of hype with Manning, but I really believe it's about to be justified. He would become the third Manning to be drafted number 1 overall, which is crazy. He's got Arch Manning, number 1, Jeremiah Smith, the incredible wide receiver at Ohio State, number 2. Don't look now, but out of the top 9 draft picks he's got potentially in 2027, John, 4 of the 9 are from the University of Texas.
Whoa.
Arch Manning, number 1, Cam Coleman, number 5, Auburn fans. Former Auburn Tiger transfers in. He's going to be huge this year for Texas because I think they know how to use him, and they got a good quarterback. Manning, number 1, Cam Coleman, number 5, Trevor Gooseby. an offensive tackle from Texas, number 8, and an edge rusher named Colin Simmons, number 9. 4 of the top 9 draft picks next year, prospects, 5 of them aren't from the University of Texas. 4 of them are. Dante Moore, the Oregon quarterback, 10. And you look down a little bit, some names you might be familiar with. Charlie Becker, the Indiana wide receiver, number 21. Jaden Ball, the Florida running back, number 25. John, out of that top 25, 4 of the top 9 are from the University of Texas.
Oof.
Out of the top 25, none are from Alabama. Ooh. One of them is from Auburn, Cam Coleman, but he'll be wearing a Texas jersey.
Yeah.
Alabama has 0 NFL draft picks among the top 25 in the country.
Maybe that's where Connor O'Gara was going yesterday when he said, Alabama's going to have their lowest preseason ranking in 20 years, something
maybe.
like that.
Heck, they got Mississippi State has 1. South Carolina has 2 of the top 6. The number 4 is Dylan Stewart, an edge rusher from South Carolina. Lenoris Sellers, their quarterback, who almost beat Alabama last year, is number 6. Dylan Stewart, number 4. Alabama has none.
Man, how far has Ryan Williams dropped? Woo.
I didn't think about him. Yes. Okay, so there we go. Just to follow up on Rodney's point.
Big junior year, huh? Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of uncertainty out there. There's a lot of talk about how talented these quarterbacks are, but I want to see them in real game action, live action.
And who do they work with? I mean, who is the best football player at the University of Alabama? Who is it?
Where's this
Ryan
running
Williams?
game going to come from? Do they have enough quality wide receivers?
Do they have enough quality linemen?
I got to see it.
That's just a point.
Yeah, don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I want to see
what's
it.
What's the win total? 8.5, 9, 9.5?
8.5. Pretty low. The lowest I can ever remember. Okay, let's go to a positive. Let's don't have such a down theme here.
Oh, some people consider this a real positive. Some people think that is the most positive thing we'll have on the show today, is that Alabama might not be as good.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let's check some NBA scores. What do you say?
I'm game.
Last night, there were 3 NBA games. And one of them I didn't see because it was the last one to play, but didn't really shock me. I kind of wanted to play it, but it's okay because the game that I did release, look at that. It was the Detroit Pistons hosting the Orlando Magic. The Magic were up 3-1 before they tipped off last night.
They were playing last night in Detroit.
In Detroit, that's true. And as of this morning, now Orlando leads the series 3-2, indicating that Detroit won the game last night.
Orlando lost.
They did.
They lost. They
lost
were not victorious. They lost the game, to which the Phantom says, so what?
Yeah. Now, they could have won last night, closed this series out, and moved on to the next round, but that didn't happen. They still have an opportunity to do that later. But Detroit wins the game 116-109. But Detroit was laying 10.5 in that game. Let's see, 109 plus 10.5, 119.5. Yeah, that's more than 116. So the Phantom cashes a ticket yet again with a winner with the Orlando Magic catching 10.5 last night.
Thank you, Cade Cunningham, for that 45 points for the Pistons. If you'd have scored 53,
yeah,
it might have been better,
Or maybe if the Pistons played better defense in the fourth quarter and didn't let the Magic outscore them by 3 points in the fourth.
That might have been it. But, hey, the chips fell where they may, and the chips fell on the Phantom's side of the number.
That's true. So,
all right.
Time to move on.
So that is, what is Phantoms 2-1 this week so
I
far.
believe so. Yes, we're 2-1 so far. Heading into the night.
Heading into tonight.
Going to try to keep another winning week going. So tonight, Barry, 3 games. The first one, 6 p.m. on ESPN from Phillips. Is it still Phillips Arena over there in Atlanta? Where do they play over there?
To be honest, it's the same arena. They haven't changed spots, but they probably changed the name of it. They change it every year. Yep.
The Knicks at the Hawks, 6 o'clock tonight. Then you got Boston at Philly at 7. That's on Peacock, by the way.
Right.
And then Denver at Minnesota at 8:30 on ESPN. And no way that game tips at 8:30 because the game prior is the Hawk-Knick game.
There ain't no way.
Yeah, you got a lot of timeouts late, maybe a little overtime. Who knows?
By the way, the Hawks play in State Farm Arena. I should know that. Yeah.
Arena. Yeah. I mean, it's so hard to keep up with all these.
I just forget about it.
So,
like
Barry,
John, even now, John thinks the 49ers play at Candlestick, even though he has been to San Jose at that stadium where they actually really play. Oh, the new Candlestick. Yeah. All right. All right, here we go.
Yeah, Three Rivers Stadium.
Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati.
Joe Robbie. Yeah.
Fulton County Stadium.
Right. Back in the good old days.
Ah.
So tonight, Barry, we're going to take the last game on the sheet, so to speak, which is Denver at Minnesota. It's a Western Division first-round matchup. Minnesota leading this series, Barry, 3-2. They're at home. An underdog with a chance to close out the Nuggets. And we're taking them. We're taking the 6 and the Timberwolves at home in a game they can go ahead and close it out. Take care of business at home tonight.
Now,
and even if they don't, it's going to be closer than 6.
Okay.
There it is.
There we go.
Daily Dog, the Minnesota Timberwolves +6. Hosting the Denver Nuggets, 8:30 on ESPN.
There we go. That is the Phantom's Daily Dog out there. The Phantom hasn't dabbled lately, hardly at all this year. I understand it's a difficult sport to bet on in Major League Baseball, but once again, the Braves are going through. Today's the last day of the month, April 30th. Tomorrow is May. The Braves are the only team in Major League Baseball that has not lost a series, did not lose a series in April. Last night, against 2-time Cy Young Award winner Tarek Skubal for the Detroit Tigers, playing in Atlanta last night, it was looking grim. Bottom of the 9th, Detroit 3, Atlanta 2.
It depends on how you look at it and whose eyes you're looking at it through, if it was grim or not.
It was kind of a snooze fest in John's terminology. A guy for the Tigers, his name is Riley Green, which brought up a bunch of questions on the chat line. Hey, Riley Green, the singer? No, Riley Green.
Yeah.
He hit a homer to center field for the Tigers in the top of the 3rd inning to give Detroit a 3-2 lead, and it was 3-2 Detroit after 3. It was 3-2 Detroit until the bottom of the 9th when Matt Olson hit an absolute bomb to deep right field. 2-run homer, walk-off. They turn a 3-2 deficit into a 4-3 Braves victory.
Yet again, against a team that's below 500. I mean, the Braves are feasting on below 500 opposition.
They're one game under. They were 500 when they played yesterday. Now they're one game under 500 in an American League Central Division where nobody has a winning record.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Huh.
I mean, just terrible baseball.
It was odd to watch last night because Matt Olson hit the 2-run walk-off homer in the bottom of the 9th inning, and as he's going around the bases, place is going nuts, he's looking up saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry we beat a team that's under. Man, this makes me feel bad that we are feasting on these teams. I cannot apologize enough.
Can you maybe just give us a little highlight of when the Braves are going to play the Padres or the Dodgers or the Cubs or the Reds or the Yankees or the Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, baseball is so pathetic. There's only like 5 teams that are above 500.
That is true. That is true. And that's
ridiculous. I mean, so if Braves fans are getting all giddy, but look how great we are because the whole league sucks.
Now,
I mean, I guess you got to win it sometimes. I mean, if it's the luck of the draw and it's not our fault. Everybody else sucks.
Coming up a week, not this Friday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The Braves will open up a 3-game series May 8th, 9th, 10th at Dodger Stadium.
Oh, wow.
Please, Braves. I don't care what you do against the Rockies next week on the road or this weekend on the road or against the Mariners on the road.
Oh, jeez.
But your 3rd series in a long, long road trip is going to be at Dodger Stadium.
Oh,
and believe me, I'm a Dodgers guy. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, but please win that series, Braves.
I know I can hear it now. I'm going to check this myself, believe it or not. All right, I'm looking at the schedule here. Yeah,
they close out the month, by the way, Miami and Washington.
All right, so they've got a weekend series against the Rockies. I think the Biscuits could beat the Rockies.
It's in Colorado.
Yeah. Then they go to Seattle for 3.
2nd series of this long road trip. They'll be tired.
Then they're in L.A. next weekend. That's
they'll be exhausted.
Well,
by that point.
they went to they played on the road. They were 6 games out on the West Coast, and they had to go to L.A. They're a little tired, a little worn down. Blah blah blah. Okay, I know what's coming. Then the Cubbies come to town on May 12th, 13th, and 14th, and there will be more Cubs fans.
Knew he would say that every time the Cubs play.
Yeah.
Who did we have that was such a Cubs fan on this show that kept saying over and over again, I went. There are more Cubs fans than Braves fans. John has ridden that horse until it is about to drop.
And then, look at here. Then they go to Boston, who I think just fired everybody and the janitor. The Marlins come back on the schedule for not 3, but 4 games, and the Washington Nationals. Oh, and then Boston again. How convenient that the Braves, there again, were the Biscuits not available? Could they not put them on the schedule? I mean, this is laughable.
Now, they do play Miami. They do play Washington. Those are division games, so those are important.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that the Braves have won 2 more games than anybody else in all of Major League Baseball. They have a better record than the Yankees, better record than the Dodgers, better record than everybody else right now. And only John could say, I'm not impressed. They don't do anything for me. When we come back.
I'm writing this down, Barry, because when we get to late August, early September, I'm going to go, I remember back in late April, early May, everybody was giddy about the Braves, and now it's like a funeral.
You better be writing down excuses, because when the Braves are still the winningest team in Major League Baseball, you've got to come up with a few more of the division's bad, or, so-and-so's hurt, or, you're still going to lose in the playoffs, because that'll be a thing coming up. When we return, it's the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Declaration of Deal sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokee's over 11 grand offers 0% for 5 years. Encompasses 5 grand off. Only at Stivers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The Declaration of Deal sales event is on at Stivers. New Ram, 16 grand off for 0% financing. And heavy duties, 13 grand off with Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
We are back at it here, getting close to the top of the hour, about 10 minutes away, and it's time for the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, brought to you by Victoryland, where you can be a winner too. Open 24/7, 365, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama.
Not a clue what any of these are. We're just top of our heads.
That's what's so fun about it.
Yeah. You know, if we don't know, we'll try to shift it into something we do know. Something.
Maybe we should start guessing before it's actually put up on the screen. Cat
and mouse.
Gotta be animals. Gotta be.
Tom and Jerry, yeah. They've turned into best friends or something.
Huh.
Oh, surfer. Hang on. How in the world? A surfer's going 10 miles? Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, no.
It's like one of those.
Look back there. There's a shark, man. The shark is saying, dude, what's he smiling about?
Well, he's got a GoPro, I see, and he's holding on to it.
I guess he's smiling because that shark ain't circling to him. He's circling. And that guy falls off.
Ooh.
And he's a canopy. I don't, all right.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's like one of those surf scooters where, it's self-powered. That battery on that thing goes 10 miles because the moment it stops, man.
Yeah, why is he so far offshore? You can see the mountains in the background. Buddy, what are you doing? I don't get that.
Evidently, it never happened because otherwise the video would be about, about the shark eating that guy.
Do you remember the opening scene of Jaws 2 when the girl was water skiing out there, which you don't water ski in the Gulf of Mexico?
Yeah, what a dumb thing. That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, it was filmed off of Navarre Beach. I'm thinking, nobody water skis out here.
Yeah.
But did she fall or did Jaws bite her while she was skiing? I can't remember, but
I can't either. That was a pretty good one. Jaws 3 was horrendous. The first Jaws emotionally scarred me for a long time because I lived in a town right off the Atlantic Ocean, and that girl got. Whoa.
I don't know, Barry, how old I was when Jaws came out. Was that like 70?
76.
Okay. So I'm like 12, 13 years old. And I can vividly remember my mother saying, "You do not go to that movie. I'm not allowing you to go see Jaws." Which
actually,
immediately, me and my buddies went, "Ooh, we got to go find a way to go see Jaws."
It was 1975 when I was a little boy.
I was even younger.
And it opens up with that girl. She's drunk swimming.
That's right. She goes skinny dipping. Takes all her clothes off.
And she's, that messed me up. We lived right across the Indian River from a little beach called Indian Beach, and I never went there after that. Plus, later on, this is me after the movie at 12 years old or however old I was, I went and bought the book.
Oh, Peter Benchley.
And there you go. And the book was even scarier than the movie. I get and all that. The stupid mayor of Amityville, dude. Of Amity Island.
Come on.
Amityville was a different thing. Why in the world do you
the
live
vehicle that Chief Brody drove, his police vehicle? I had that vehicle when I was 16. Not that color, but I had that vehicle.
All right.
It was gross. I wish I still had it. I love that vehicle. It was awesome.
Here we go.
Next, what's
Cat and mouse. Sometimes your shark follows somebody for 10 miles and it doesn't work out. He goes and finds something else.
You're right about that.
Come on, Les. Is this Les Nessman or Les Miles? Let me think. Who could it be? Les Nessman. Oh, my gosh. Lester T. Jones. 3 years, 5 months. He embezzled $3.7 million from the Hawks. I didn't think the Hawks had $3.7 million. Lester T. Jones embezzled money to pay for travel, luxury apparel, jewelry, car expenses, and tickets. Geez. How in this day and age, I could get it maybe if it's 1893 or something, when everything was written down, if it was recorded at all. But my gosh, you've got computers, you've got cameras everywhere.
Sure. Yeah.
You're spending $80,000 of the Hawks corporate credit card to go to Thailand And you think nobody's going to notice that?
Oh.
They won't even have it. Of course they will.
They got any basketball players in Thailand? I don't know. Maybe they're just going on a scouting trip.
That would have been probably my first impulse. Hey, I went there to go check out this Siamese guy. I don't know. Tom, you don't get away with stuff like that.
No, you don't. Come on. They're going to
Same thing with trying to stiff your man.
No, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see what we got here. 4 more to go. We'll spin away. See what pops up on the screen.
Send them home. Cloudy with a chance. Oh, it's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Never saw that movie. The 2026 Miami F1 Grand Prix. There's a law, a U.S. law. Rain is threatening.
Okay.
According to AccuWeather, 86% chance of rain Sunday when the race is. 53% chance of thunderstorms. U.S. law requires major outdoor public events, Formula One Grand Prix, to be halted if a thunderstorm is approaching and there's a risk of lightning strikes.
Makes sense.
In such instances, the medical helicopter can't fly. Spectators would have to leave the venue, which is awfully difficult on a Formula One course. I will say, I don't get it. I don't get why you do it, because you've got Monte Carlo, you've got Monaco or whatever, you've got Grand Prix in Texas and in Vegas and everything. What a colossal pain that must be, because you got to shut down the whole city.
You know, Barry, if I'm
it's
not
hard
mistaken,
to watch because you can't watch the whole thing like you can at Talladega.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
If I'm not mistaken, Barry, there will be a Formula One race in the nation's capital during the 4th of July weekend.
Oh, that's wrong. That's
along with the WWE or no, what is that stuff called? That
MMA?
Dana White. Yeah, MMA fight. But
that's wrong. That's a recipe for disaster. I was in Montgomery yesterday at a doctor's visit.
Yeah.
And John, there's a Formula One race on this Eastern Boulevard every
you think?
Day.
No kidding, because nobody adheres to traffic lights. It's amazing. When my light turns green, I don't go. I wait, because everybody's running red lights in this town. Drives me insane. All right,
here we go.
3 more panels to go. Let's see what we got. Yellow, red, and blue are the colors.
I'm thinking this is yellow.
I think so.
Tag, you're it.
You're it.
Oh, this is bound to be an animal one with pandas or something. No. The franchise tag. I see you working there, Gurn. George Pickens signs a franchise tag. That had been sitting there for a while. They began their off-season program Monday. That guarantees him $27 million, but they're not going to trade him. And will not negotiate it with him in 2026. So the franchise tag means that he's their guy. More than anybody else, that's who they want. George Pickens. Is George Pickens from Hoover?
I believe so, yes.
He had been in the NFL with the Steelers, I believe, traded to the Cowboys. He's going to be big because he's got a quarterback who's one of the top 5 in the NFL that can get him the football. Dak finally has somebody to go along with CD Lamb to really unlock that Cowboys offense, which has always been good, but Dak is about to go off this year with the Cowboys.
Kind of like Alabama football. We'll see.
He has been compared to Byron Brown. What more do you want, man? All right.
2 more to go. Red and blue are the panels left on the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel.
Doubled
what
up.
Could these be about? What?
And send them home. This will be doubled up.
Doubled up.
As opposed to doubled down.
That's right. Oh, baseball.
All right. The Marlins, they beat the Dodgers. Let's see that. All right, double play. This is Freeman. They tag him and step on the bag. Oh, that's a tag and a force.
A tag and a force.
Let's see. All right, so runner at first. Freeman grounds out. For some reason, the runner stops there, goes back to the bag. The second baseman for the Marlins not only makes the tag, but hits the bag at the same time. There's the out.
Wait a minute. Here Ty went to the runner.
And the out there. He forces out. And so there you go.
Wait, he's blocking the base
win.
there. Pitcher's blocking the base path. Can't do that.
How about that? How about the Miami Marlins, which some people say anytime they're on the schedule is an absolute travesty of having to play them, even though they've won 2 World Series in their lifetimes. One more.
Is the Braves won 2? I guess they have. Same number as the Marlins. Go.
Here we go.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. One more to go. Got to spin it to make it official. It's always the blue panel. Don't know why, but it just is. It's incredible.
Send them home.
Yeah, send them home. Come on.
The Penguins are out. Cam York, this is the one that does it. Boop, right there.
Out.
This is a Battle of Pennsylvania. So this is an OT. Golden goal. Watch, this guy takes a shot. What the heck?
I think that's called a slap shot, Barry.
It is a slap shot.
Yeah.
Hence the movie name for Paul Newman and the Hanson
Love that
brothers.
movie.
So there you go. The Flyers move on. They beat the Penguins in Philly. In the Battle of Pennsylvania, they move on into the second round.
So I got a question. That guy's name is Drysdale, Milton Drysdale.
Yeah.
I don't want to play for a team whose mascot is a penguin. That just doesn't seem very.
And look at what you got to wear on your sweater. Yeah. I mean, it is an actual penguin penguins don't have hands. They can't hold hockey sticks. They can't wear skates.
I don't like that.
Stop
it. What is a flyer? Philadelphia Flyers.
John is there to ask the deep
what is a flyer?
Questions.
Come on. Got to be a little bit more creative than that. Well, we're going to be creative tomorrow from Stivers Ford here in Montgomery, where Price sells cars. Lincoln luxury for less. Stivers Ford will be there tomorrow. We're flipping the calendar tomorrow, so some great new saving deals going on in the month of May at Stivers. We'll tell you all about it tomorrow on the program.
Many thanks to Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, brought to you exclusively by the Destin Connection Seafood Market for his extended visit. Also, thanks to Jason Caldwell, AuburnUndercover.com, our producer, Gurn Jr., He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.